Hi everyone, and welcome to our District 97's Parent University presentation. This is all about Seesaw for K2. My name is Jennifer Buckley, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at By Elementary School in the district. I have been using Seesaw in my classroom for the past 4 years and love how independent students become using this app. Seesaw is great for all stakeholders, and this is something all kindergarten through second grade classrooms will be using for remote learning this fall. Our goal for this session is to help walk through all the different apps and explain some of the amazing features Seesaw offers. Before we start, we have a quick poll to see your comfort level with Seesaw so we can help tailor our presentation more to your specific needs. The poll should pop up for you in the middle of your screen. Please check which level applies best to you. So how comfortable do you feel using Seesaw? Very comfortable. I've used it with my child's teacher in the past. You're comfortable. I know some aspects, but could learn more. Uncomfortable. That is why I'm here tonight. Or I do not know anything about Seesaw. A few more seconds. Okay. So we actually have some really great people on here that we want to help. Right now, 55% of our participants do not know anything about Seesaw. So we're definitely here to help you tonight. So based on the poll results, we do want to make sure to show you some great visuals and specific features to make this app really beneficial for both you and your child. If you have any questions about Seesaw during this presentation, please chat me directly through the chat box. It will come straight to me. And again, my name is Jennifer Buckley, and we will try to answer some of the questions at the end of the session today. So there are two Seesaw apps that we will walk you through tonight. The Seesaw Class app that you see pictured on the left is something that will already be set up and downloaded on your child's iPad from the district. So students will also be able to access Seesaw through Clever to make it more streamlined. Now the Seesaw Family app pictured on your right is something that parents will download on their phones or any personal devices that you have to really receive announcements from their teacher directly and see any of your child's work. So I'm going to pass it now to Hannah to explain some of the functions of the Seesaw Class app. Hannah?
Thanks, Jen. My name is Hannah Tatro and I teach kindergarten at Longfellow. First, we're going to walk through the features and functions of Seesaw Class, the app that your child will be using on their school-provided iPad. We will go over the following elements of Seesaw Class: the announcements that that they will get directly from teachers, completing engaging assignments using a variety of tools, the way that it fosters independence and ownership over their work, the way that it allows them to document their learning, both completed on and off of their screens, your child's journal and the privacy settings related to it, the class blog and why that might be something that you'll hear about them using, and how it allows them to receive feedback from teachers and peers. Go ahead, Jen. So the first thing is that Seesaw allows your child to get announcement directly from their teachers. The teacher can send announcements to all the students in their class. This can include links, updates, or resources that they may need to access themselves. These announcements are separate from the announcements that will be sent to you through the Seesaw Family app. Next slide. They will be able to complete engaging assignments using a variety of tools. Assignments in Seesaws are actually called activities, and they have 3 parts: the directions, the examples, and the spot for your student to respond. After learning from the example and the directions, students can use a variety of tools, including drawing, writing, and voice recording, to respond directly in Seesaw. They can also use photos and videos to add work completed off-screen, and then can get complicated with those tools by layering them and combining them to express themselves fully. Next screen. Seesaw fosters independence and ownership over student work because they can document learning that is completed both on and off of their screen. The tools are so flexible, and Seesaw makes it easy for students to really show what they know in a way that's developmentally appropriate and adapts to what feels comfortable for them. Anything that they can do, they can share through Seesaw, and it really doesn't take long for them to use the tools independently. This is especially important for our youngest students who aren't so comfortable with writing at the beginning of the year, because they can really share their thoughts through voice recordings. Next slide. Your child's journal is private. It can only be seen by you and their teacher. However, work may be shared to a class blog for students to share peer feedback. The work that your child completes will only be visible to you and their teacher. So you can see that down in the bottom of this picture to the left. The teacher and the parent have given hearts or likes to the student's work, and they've been able to leave comments. However, in order to build community and foster collaboration, the class blog may be used. You can see this to the left. We've circled the globe and it is blue. Anything on the blog must be approved by the teacher, and that includes comments as well. You can tell if something is on the blog by looking for the blue globe. Anything on the blog can be removed by just unclicking the globe. Next slide. Students receive feedback from their teachers and peers. When a work is in a child's journal, both you and their teacher can give them feedback using text or voice recordings. When work is on the blog, their peers can provide feedback as well. Students love to give and get feedback from their peers. Now I'm going to hand it off to Marianne to talk about the Seesaw Family app. Marianne?
Thank you, Hannah. Hi, everyone. My name is Marianne Rayfield. I'm the instructional coach at home school and also the proud parent of some students who also use Seesaw. So I'm going to talk to you today about the features and the functions of the Seesaw Family app. So we're going to cover in just the next few minutes how that you can easily manage multiple students from your app, how you can get direct announcements from your child's teacher or multiple teachers if you have more than one student, that you can send and receive messages from your child's teachers, and also how you can see your child's completed work. So first thing is, if you have multiple children, once you download the Seesaw app, you'll be able to go into your app, and up in the left-hand corner, you'll be able to add multiple children to your account. So I'm going to have a third grader and a kindergartner in the fall, so I'll be able to have both my girls' journals in my phone, and I'll be able to see the work that they're doing and get announcements from their teachers. Next slide. So speaking of getting announcements from the teachers, you will have on the app a section where it will say inbox. And in the inbox, there will be messages from your teacher that you can click on and read through. This can be just simple messages. You can see on the screen, one teacher sent an example of a science experiment that you can do at home. Teachers can send their newsletters all through the app. If you want, you can go into your settings in your app as well, and you can receive notifications. So for example, today I was looking at it and I changed the settings so that I would get one email a day as well as one notification a day about anything that was happening in my Seesaw app. Next slide. You can also send and receive direct messages with your child's teacher. So once the teacher sends any message to you and it's in your inbox, then you can reply directly to your child's teacher, and that's two-way communication just via you and your child's teacher. It's not going to be going out to the whole class. So this is another way that teachers can communicate with you and streamline instead of having multiple ways of communicating, email, other websites. Everything can be communicated just from the Seesaw app. Next slide, Jen. So this is the great part of Seesaw that my daughters absolutely love, is that you can see and you can comment on your students' completed work. So as Hannah said earlier, it's similar to Facebook and Instagram, where you can heart or you can leave a comment for your child based on the work that they're doing. So if I went into my daughter's journal, and she had multiple classes, and I just went into one of her classes, and she had posted a video, I could go in and I could like her video. I could also leave a comment for her. She was so excited every day to wake up and check her Seesaw app and see what both her teacher and my husband and I had to say for her. Next slide. And I think, Jen, is this passing off to you?
So, thanks, Marianne, and thank you all for coming tonight. So as school begins this fall, if you need any support with the content presented in Seesaw, please contact your child's homeroom teacher directly. And if you are experiencing any technical difficulties, please send an email to the help desk at helpdesk@op97.org. So I've been reviewing some of the chat questions during the presentation. One of the questions was explaining Clever. So Hannah, would you mind explaining what Clever is?
Absolutely. So Clever is like a password manager, but for kids. The district loads in all of their account information, their usernames and passwords for the most commonly used district apps, including Seesaw. And then students log into Clever and can just choose. It looks exactly like the app icons they see on their device itself, but they can just choose the app and it opens it up and logs them in automatically. I know when we've been at school, they've logged into Clever by scanning a QR code. I'm not 100% sure if that will be exactly the same remotely, but either way, once they log into Clever, it pings them out to all their other apps. No needed typing, no needed memorizing of passwords.
Another question was about students attending the Park District for daycare, and I'm wondering if the employees will be trained in Seesaw. So what the teachers plan on doing the first several weeks of school is really specifically teaching each tool directly to their student. So we will be walking through your child step by step on how to use the marker or a pencil, even making a video or taking a selfie of themselves, posting their work. So all of this stuff will be trained by the teacher throughout the first couple weeks. So the the Park District staff, I do not know if they'll be receiving any training, but most of the stuff will be done independently by your child. We have another question about using a stylist with your iPad, and I think that is definitely something you can use. Some kids even just use their finger. There is a typing option where they can dictate just by speaking into their iPad, and it can type up. So all of those are definitely options for you to use if your finger is not working or using a mouse on a computer, it does not work. Another question is, when you get our child's device, will we be informed how to connect to the family app? Marianne, would you mind filling them in on that?
Yeah, your teacher will either send you a code that you will plug in. So again, I can go back to mine. So if I wanted to log into my daughter's, she's going into kindergarten, so I don't have her on here yet. It says tap to scan a QR code. So the QR code is going to be provided by your teacher, and that will either be emailed to you or it can be printed and sent to you as well.
Another question was about printing from Seesaw. From my understanding, you will not need to print anything from Seesaw. It will be done by dragging your finger, moving shapes in a sort. All the activities will be done electronically, so nothing will need to be printed out from Seesaw. Another one is, can a parent choose a particular assignment not to be shared? And then maybe your child doesn't want to share a certain assignment. How can they do that? Hannah, would you mind chiming in on that?
Absolutely. Individual activities are chosen to be shared to the blog or not, and that decision can be suggested by the teacher. So if a teacher thinks that a project is one that they want a child to share, they can make that recommendation. However, at any point, if you're uncomfortable, you can just unclick that blue globe and it will pull it off immediately. If a child decides that they want to share something, that always has to be approved by the teacher. So if a child, say, is taking some pictures of their dog and says, I want to put these on the blog, the teacher can always say, no, that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to share our, projects or something to get feedback from our peers.
Thanks. Another question was about, can both parents add the same child to their individual family accounts? And definitely, I've actually had even grandparents add and wanting to follow their grandchild. So yes, the teacher will approve these people following the child's app, following those emails, but you can definitely share that with lots of family members if you choose to do so. Another question was, can we use Seesaw Family on a laptop or PC, or does it have to be through an app, phone or tablet? Marianne, would you mind chiming in on that?
Yes, you can use it on your computer. You would just go into Seesaw just in your URL, and it'll say, are you going in as a family, or are you logging in as a parent, a teacher, or a student? And so you would just log in as a parent, and it has all the same features on your computer as it does on your phone.
Another great question was about kindergartners using this app, and if they can't read, how are they going to be able to do that? So actually a really great feature just came out today, which I'm really excited about, where we are going to be able to embed videos of ourselves giving step-by-step directions. This can also just be done by recording your voice. So either will probably be given to your kindergartner, so it's not something that you will have to explain to them. Someone else asked about, where does the journal come from? Is that connected to the classroom app? Hannah, do you want to chime in about the journal?
Absolutely. The journal is just a log of absolutely everything they've ever completed. So anything they complete goes into one long running list, and that's their journal.
It's very similar if you want to think about it as a digital portfolio. So if you think back to maybe when you were in school and you might have had a binder of all your work from the school year, this is basically a virtual digital binder for your students to have all their work. And like I mentioned, the great thing is that you can be seeing it all along and commenting on their growth all year long.
Someone also mentioned, is Seesaw only for K2? And that is correct, it is only for K2. And then we also talked a little bit more about Clever. They were wondering if it's the same codes as previous years. That I was not sure about.
That I don't know. My instinct would be yes, but I'm not certain, just as I'm not certain if they're actually logging in with a QR code this year.
And all of this will be given to you before the start of the year by your child's homeroom teacher. So all of this will be explained during curriculum night or some other time around then. Will synchronous instruction be done via Zoom, or is that in Seesaw 2? So Zoom will be the synchronous, and then Seesaw will be one of the options for an asynchronous activity that will be differentiated. So this could be something that Seesaw is used to show work that was done through paper and pencil. It could be maybe a math activity where, can you measure how long your bed is using some kind of block? And they would just take a picture and how they measured it. So the teacher can see, like, do they have gaps between putting these non-standard measurement tools together, things like that. So pictures are going to be really key and really important. So this is going to be all this asynchronous work. Let's see. So if I'll be managing my student and neighbor in a learning pod, is there a way I can add that kid to my family Seesaw? I do believe that might be maybe up to that parent of your neighbor, and that's something you can communicate with the homeroom teacher. Do you agree, Marianne?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you'll need to get that permission from the parent, and that parent will have to ask to share the teacher to share the QR code with whoever is taking care of your child. Very similar to how Jen was saying, like if a grandparent wanted to follow your child's journal, it's the same thing. You just have to let the teacher know the name so that when it comes up on the teacher end and we have to approve it, that we know who it is.
Some people are asking if we recommend any headset with a microphone or anything like that to use. Hannah?
I can speak to that. I would most definitely recommend just anything that has a built-in mic. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but if you don't have a built-in microphone, both for Zooming purposes and for Seesaw recording purposes, what will happen is it defaults to using the iPad's microphone, which is much farther away from their head and much more designed to take in all the background noise around them as well. So I would recommend, no matter what style of headphones you go with, that you make sure they have some kind of inline mic.
So we do want to make sure that everyone understands that the family app should not be downloaded on your child's device. That's just something for you. Only the class app will be on your child's device, and that will already be downloaded by the district. We also have a question just about wondering if we can set all this up before the start of the school year. So everything will be set up on your student's class app. Once class lists are finalized, the district will be putting these in for the teachers and for the students on the iPads. So once that is all done, that will be set up for them already. So again, my kindergarten cannot read or write. What is the plan for children who don't have these skills yet? Hannah, do you want to chime in on that?
Sure. It's very visual by nature, and we will be showing them, we will be modeling our screens by screen sharing it over Zoom in those first couple of days and showing them, this is what it looks like and this is what you take when you see this. It's got very clear icons that are consistent across the platform, and I found that I've had no trouble with non-readers functioning in the app, and in fact feeling liberated by it because they're not limited by their ability to write down their answers. They can capture their ideas by talking, and we all know that they have lots more ideas than they're able to communicate in writing.
And I'll just jump on that as well. Even my second grade daughter, even though she had to write, either on paper or she had to do something directly on the Seesaw app where she's writing on basically what would be like a PDF or a worksheet, she always was posting videos. If I scroll through, you can see like almost everything that she submitted to her teacher, there's the play button in the middle because she always wanted just to talk to her teacher all the time. So this is just a great way for our non-readers and writers right now just to be able to communicate with their teacher just verbally.
So we have a lot of questions. Unfortunately, it is going to be time for our next session soon, but I do appreciate all of you staying and learning a little bit more about this. So please reach out if you have any questions to help desk or the district if you need anything else. Thank you guys for coming.